It is a beautiful morning. The dew is still on the grass, and I'm going to take advantage of it by getting out to one of my favorite golf courses, Glacierwood, in Iola, Wisconsin. I've been playing a little bit better recently, and I attribute that to a few things that I generally focus on when I'm playing my best golf. And I think this is a good opportunity to share those tips with you in this episode. As I prepare for my approach shot here on hole 1, I want to talk a little bit about tempo. I know that I play some of my most consistent golf when I can maintain a smooth, consistent tempo throughout the duration of the round. I also know that tempo is going to give me better control over the direction that the ball is going. And I also know that hitting the ball with a lot of power isn't going to do me a lot of good if I'm not hitting the ball consistently straight, at least for the most part. Here to about 10 feet, so pretty good birdie look here to start. Slight right to left breaker, a little bit downhill for the birdie. On the greens, tempo with a putter is a critical factor in distance control. I'm going to talk about that a lot in this episode, but for now, let's see if I can make this birdie on hole 1. I pushed it to the right, but the speed was good, and I'm always happy to start with a par. All right, hole 2. Got a dogleg right. As I prepare to hit my drive here on hole 2, my focus hasn't changed. Execute a smooth swing, keep the ball in play, and set ourselves up to potentially reach this par 5 and 2. I also want to avoid the large sand trap that guards the right side of the fairway. Although it's a little less of an aggressive play, I'm going to aim a little bit further to the left to ensure I protect myself from exactly that. So I've hit my target line, and I have a good angle into the green. However, with 250 yards left, a simple 4-iron layup seems like the most logical shot here. My tempo was perfect, and I left this one right where I wanted to. Unfortunately, I didn't film the next shot, but I did get in pretty close and left myself a pretty good chance at birdie, again on the second hole. And this brings me to my second tip: learn to have patience on the greens. While I'm an advocate of pace of play, it is important to take a little bit of time to look at your putt from a couple different angles, determine what it's going to do over the course of the last 5 feet, and then move any debris or bumps that are between you and the path of the putt. I don't like that I left this one short, but it's a tap in for par. Long par 3s can be score killers, and I generally approach them with a goal to make no worse than bogey. On a long and narrow approach shot like this, I know that maintaining that consistent tempo is going to be key. That one's on the beach. While I hit this shot in the bunker, the outcome on a shot of this difficulty could have been far worse. My only objective now, get it on the green and make no worse than bogey. Yeah, I was disappointed with that effort out of the sand. But I've got to put that behind me, because I've got a 2-putt from about 50 feet to get out of this hole with a bogey. I spent a lot of time off camera preparing for this putt, just trying to get the speed right and get a good feel for the break. Unfortunately, I ended up pushing this one out to the right and left me a little tester for the bogey. Sweet relief. Let's move on to hole 4. Maintaining a consistent focus over one element of your golf swing over the course of an entire round is a challenging thing to do. In this case, I was thinking about hitting this shot into 5 feet so I could tap in for birdie and get back to even par. While I was walking to retrieve my divot, I had to remind myself that I am in fact not Tiger Woods. Decent players hit bad shots from time to time. What decent players don't do is hit 2 bad shots in a row. Next time you're on the course and you hit a poor shot, take a moment to put it behind you and regain your focus to recover on the next shot. While I would have liked to leave myself a better chance at par, we ended up settling for bogey off camera.
All right, hole 5, dogleg left. Total yardage 375. 275 to hit it through. I'm just going to take kind of an easy driver here. Hang on. Should be in the fairway. We're going to have a long second shot in.
Unless your name is Victor Hovland, people like you and me will probably never play a perfect round of golf in our lives. But after carding back-to-back bogeys, and now hitting a dicey drive off a hole 5's tee box, I knew it was time to get back to my original focus of the day, and that was consistent tempo.
I do believe there's a deer coming out of the woods right behind me. Can't see it, but I can hear it.
And despite the distraction from the deer, I put a really nice swing on this one. I felt like I got my tempo back. The shot was a little off to the left, but this was a confidence builder and made me feel like I could make a run at the second half of this 9. I got right back to being meticulous on the greens, took care of a couple ball marks, and tried to do my best to set myself up with a good chance to make par. This one was tracking, but ends up missing off to the right, and I'll tap in for par.
All right, off to hole 6, probably one of my favorite holes out here. From the tips, plays 210. Downhill, you've got water off to the right, which you probably can't see on camera right now. Maybe you can see it in the drone footage, but...
Once you get your tempo locked in, it's almost as if your confidence becomes contagious to the other parts of your game. I followed up my great drive with a nice chip shot into about 4 feet on a green that is more sloped than the camera would probably lead you to believe. I don't make a lot of pars here, so in my mind, it was tempting to just try to walk up and jam this in with the pin still in. Thankfully, I didn't do that. I took my time, got my read right, and was able to walk off with a well-earned par. Hole 7 is one of my favorites at Glacierwood. It feels like you're hitting out of a tunnel, and you're almost forced to hit a cut if you're going to keep the ball in the fairway. Note that I'm teed up on the far left side of the tee box to give myself the best possible angle into the fairway. Angles matter, and your position on the tee box can make the difference between finding the fairway and finding the woods. With a loud mower running in the background, this is probably a good time to turn things down and shout out 2 of my favorite channels, Not a Scratch Golfer and Golf Sidekick. Both channels have helped me improve my game over the course of the last couple of years, and have also inspired me to make my own channel. I've dropped a link to each channel in the description of this video, and I strongly recommend you check both of those channels out. You won't be disappointed.
We're not going to like that.
With a solid par on hole 7 behind me, but a sketchy drive off the tee on hole 8, I'm looking to finish this 9 holes mistake-free. I put a good swing on a 7-iron from about 170 yards out, but unfortunately left myself a long look at birdie. Unfortunately, I didn't give it my best effort on this leg putt on hole 8, missing it well out to the right. And even more unfortunate, I failed to film my really nice par putt that I made right after this. Things like that get under my skin. I put a really nice roll on the par putt, and I'm working very hard to bring quality content to the channel. I'll do my best to make sure I capture those critical shots in the future. As I make my way in for one final par here on hole 9, I want to reflect on what has allowed me to play some of my better golf today. Focusing on a consistent tempo, having patience on the greens, and of course, recovering after I hit a bad shot. I'm going to finish with 5 consecutive pars and a final score of 37, which actually ties my best round for this particular 9 holes. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and I truly hope that the tips I provided today help you the next time you're out on the course. And we'll catch you on the next one.